Bob Yoho. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This past weekend, Johnny Bench was in Beavercreek, Ohio, which isn't too far from us. It's about 2.5 hours, approximately in the same distance Cincinnati is, maybe a little bit different, close to Dayton. Johnny Bench was going to be in a Dick's House of Sport there, a new store that I believe that's opened up just there recently. And I'd never met Johnny Bench. Of course, as a Reds fan, I've been a Reds fan my entire life. As long as I can remember, I probably started really following baseball probably about 68. Yes, I know that makes me old. And Johnny Bench has been one of my favorite players ever since that time. But I'd never met him. And it's kind of neat to meet someone that was a hero to you as a child. And Johnny Bench is about 77 now, and so he isn't getting any younger. Same with me. I'm not getting much younger either. And so I had the chance to see him, and I really wanted to. And a friend of mine went with me, and I met him. I'd originally set up to meet him at a certain time. Then I came back and contacted him and told him, let's leave a half hour earlier. Well, as it turned out, that was pretty important. We went ahead and got out of there, and at one point he said something about stopping, and then when we got to the exit, I said, is this it? And he said, oh, no. And by the time we passed it, then we realized that was the exit he wanted to get off on. And so it was getting late, so we didn't take much time. We went ahead and went into town. And it's a good thing we did, because it just saved, he was going to be there from 12:30 to 2. And there was a big long line. Of course, we kind of expected that, which is one reason I went when I did go. I thought we wasn't going to get in there. And probably, if Bench had not agreed to stay 10 more minutes, we wouldn't have got to see him. Just about the time we worked our way around to see where he was signing autographs at, a guy came out and started counting down the people out there in a row. And just about 5 or 6 behind me, they cut that line off to see Bench that day. So we got to see him. We got in there with about 3 minutes to spare and got out. Johnny Bench was nice, real nice guy. Strangely enough, I'm probably about the only person that entire day that he sang to. And when I show you this clip, you'll know what I'm talking about, if you can hear it. But it was a pretty big thing. It was a big thing to me. I was excited about it, enjoyed it. And Johnny Bench seemed like a nice guy. Of course, you hear things online. You hear, oh, Johnny Bench was a jerk, or he's just the nicest guy. You never know. And I mean, he seemed real nice to me. I mean, and I'll tell you what, the guy, I knew he'd had a big hand because I'd seen him hold 7 baseballs at one time. But when he shook my hand, I'm telling you, just like my little hand was gobbled up in that thing. Anyway, it was a big treat to meet Johnny Bench, and I'll show you a clip of it here. But
it's right there at the Black Hat. Yeah.
Should have been a cowboy. Should have been the rock line. Wearing my shoes and riding my horse.
That was the wall. For his hand.
Good friend. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Reminder, you can only sign the photo.
Now, a few years ago, I actually purchased a baseball. Johnny Bench did a thing where he commemorated his 389 homers that he hit in the regular season. And he took a baseball and numbered it for each one of those home runs in his 389 career home runs. Along with, he also did a set of baseballs from his playoff and World Series appearances, and maybe the ones he hit in the All-Star game as well. He numbered each one of them, and it corresponded to a certain date and time and pitcher he hit the home run against. And I bought one of those a few years ago. Mine was, can't remember what it was right off the bat, but I purchased one of these baseballs, and it corresponded to a home run he hit in the 75 season against Rick Russell of the Chicago Cubs. And I purchased one of these. It was autographed by him. They gave me a plaque and everything. It's pretty nice. He did these several years ago, and I bought one of them, but I never got the chance to actually meet him in person. And so I really wanted to meet him once. And so that's why I went this past weekend, and I don't regret it. I spent a lot of time watching, a lot of time driving, but talk to him, 40 seconds or something like that. But to me, as a baseball fan and as a Johnny Bench fan, it was well worth the time. In fact, I just wrote a piece about Johnny Bench that will appear in the April issue of Western Writers of America's Roundup magazine. I was just delighted to meet him. He's not getting any younger, and I would have regretted. I'd made up my mind after Pete Rose's passing here recently. If I got a chance to meet Bench and he was anywhere close, that I was going to do it. And maybe hey, still, I still like baseball. I love baseball since I was a child, and it was a chance to see one of my childhood heroes, and I don't know too many people pass that up. But it was well worth the time. Had we not left when we did, we wouldn't have made it. Had we stopped at one place we planned to, we probably wouldn't have made it. And it just so happened everything worked out well for us, and I got to meet somebody I've admired since childhood for his talents on the baseball field, and he just seemed like a nice guy. But anyway, that's what I had for you this week. Hope you'll stop back soon. Bye now.